Yellowstone in northwest Wyoming, land of geysers, mountains, and lakes, is also sitting atop a supervolcano. And it just took what scientists describe as a deep breath, causing miles of ground to rise dramatically.
Did you know that Yellowstone Park officials are facing a seismic crisis unlike anything they've seen before? In today's video, we're delving deep into the heart of Yellowstone National Park, where over 100 earthquakes have recently rocked the very foundations of this iconic natural wonder. But what's even more intriguing is what experts are saying about the possibility of an eruption looming on the horizon. Stay with us until the end as we uncover the unprecedented challenges Yellowstone Park officials are grappling with and the urgent questions that demand answers.
Supervolcano would kill almost all of us. The Yellowstone supervolcano, it's a caldera volcano. Like they didn't realize that it was so big until somewhere in like the 2000s, I think it was. They did satellite imagery and they realized, oh my God, that's the caldera of a volcano, like this Yellowstone thing. We thought it was just this crazy place with hot springs. Like, no, that's a supervolcano that is a continent killer. And it blows every 600,000 to 800,000 years, and everyone dies. Like, the whole country dies.
To understand the significance of the recent seismic activities, let's embark on a journey deep into the heart of Yellowstone National Park. Now, you might think Yellowstone is just another beautiful park, but it's so much more than that. In fact, it's the world's first national park, and it holds secrets that are both breathtaking and awe-inspiring. Yellowstone National Park sprawls across a vast expanse of over 2.2 million acres, stretching across the states of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. This place is a natural wonderland, home to over 10,000 hydrothermal features, including hot springs, mud pots, fumaroles, and geysers. In fact, Yellowstone boasts more than 500 active geysers, which is more than half of all the geysers on our entire planet. Yet beneath this picturesque landscape lies a truth that often escapes our notice. Yellowstone is not just any park, it's a colossal volcano, one of the largest and most active on Earth. Now you might wonder, how can a place so stunning be hiding such a fiery secret? This volcanic giant is what scientists call a supervolcano. It's not your run-of-the-mill volcano, it's in a league of its own. These supervolcanoes have eruptions so massive that they can be thousands of times more powerful than your typical volcano.
So imagine a cube 6 miles across, deep and high, and that's how much lava came out.
To understand why Yellowstone is so special and sometimes worrisome, you need to know about the Yellowstone caldera. Think of it as a vast volcanic depression that's the result of a dramatic history. Over the past 2.1 million years, Yellowstone has unleashed 3 super eruptions that have shaped the land we see today. The first of these eruptions, known as the Huckleberry Ridge Tuff, happened a whopping 2.1 million years ago. It created a caldera that stretched over 60 miles wide. Then around 1.3 million years ago, the second super eruption took place. This one gave birth to the Mesa Falls Tuff and the Island Park caldera. Now hold on to your hats, because we're coming to the most recent chapter in Yellowstone's explosive history. Approximately 640,000 years ago, Yellowstone unleashed its might once again. This eruption, known as the Lava Creek Tuff, gave birth to the current Yellowstone caldera. But here's where it gets truly mind-boggling. The last eruption, the Lava Creek Tuff eruption, was cataclysmic in every sense of the word. It spewed an astonishing 240 cubic miles of rock, ash, and volcanic gases into the atmosphere. To put that into perspective, that's like covering the entire state of Texas with a layer of volcanic debris nearly 12 feet thick. And the impact wasn't just local. No, it was felt on a global scale. The massive plumes of volcanic ash blocked out the sun, causing a drop in temperatures worldwide. Think of it as a planet-wide cooling event. This disruption wreaked havoc on ecosystems affecting plants, animals, and even early human populations. Imagine a force so powerful that it could unleash devastation on a global scale. What's been happening in Yellowstone lately has caught the attention of both scientists and the public. In the northern part of Yellowstone Lake, a series of tremors unfolded in just 12 hours, and it's left everyone on edge. But what's really going on beneath the surface of this iconic national park? It all began on March 28th with a tiny earthquake measuring just 0.7 on the Richter scale. It seemed like a blip on the radar, hardly worth noticing. But then something extraordinary happened. What started as a tiny tremor evolved into a remarkable earthquake swarm that gathered momentum rapidly. In less than 24 hours, Yellowstone experienced at least 60 earthquakes, with magnitudes ranging from a tiny 0.1 to a more significant 3.7. Now, it's important to understand that earthquakes aren't entirely unusual in this region. In fact, Yellowstone is responsible for around 50% of all seismic activity in the Intermountain West area. The biggest quake ever recorded here was the Hebgen Lake earthquake, registering a powerful magnitude 7.5. This event triggered massive landslides, including one that dammed the Madison River, creating Quake Lake. Additionally, Yellowstone's geothermal features felt the impact, with dormant geysers suddenly roaring to life and others changing their behavior. For instance, the intervals between eruptions of the famous Old Faithful geyser shifted, and new hot springs and fumaroles emerged in the park. The Hebgen Lake earthquake led to a re-evaluation of the seismic risks in the Yellowstone region, resulting in significant changes in monitoring and response procedures. And now the recent surge in earthquakes has reignited discussions and concerns about the possibility of a major seismic event occurring within the park. With between 1,000 and 3,000 earthquakes happening in the Yellowstone area each year, it's already one of the most seismically active regions in the United States. Most of these tremors are small and go unnoticed by the general population. However, the recent earthquake swarm has caught everyone's attention and raised some unsettling questions. The burning question on everyone's mind is whether these tremors are a sign that the Yellowstone supervolcano is gearing up for a massive eruption. Or could these recent quakes simply be nature's way of reminding us of its unpredictability? To get to the bottom of these questions, we must delve into the intricate geology of Yellowstone. You see, this park isn't just any ordinary place. It's perched atop a molten rock plume that rises from the Earth's mantle. This molten hotspot is like the engine that powers Yellowstone's incredible geothermal features and is also responsible for the volcanic activity we see in the area. Now, here's what sets Yellowstone apart. This molten hotspot isn't beneath an oceanic crust like many volcanoes. It's beneath a continental crust. Imagine a pot of boiling water right under your kitchen floor. It's kind of like that, but on a much grander scale. Many experts and scientists are speculating that the recent earthquake swarm, which occurred near the eastern edge of the Yellowstone caldera, might be a precursor to something bigger. Geologists and seismologists are poring over the data, looking for patterns and clues that could indicate a shift in the behavior of the volcanic system. But let's take a moment to breathe. While it's natural to be concerned about these events, it's important to remember that Yellowstone is closely monitored. Scientists have an intricate network of sensors and instruments in place to keep a watchful eye on what's happening beneath the surface. This means that if there were any substantial changes or signs of a major eruption in the making, experts would be on it like hawks. The animals that call Yellowstone home may hold some of the answers to the recent seismic activities in the park. The park's diverse landscapes provide a haven for a wide variety of plant and animal species. However, lately some strange occurrences have been happening. In two separate incidents, a woman was attacked by a bison, and tragically another woman was found dead on the Buttermilk Trail, 8 miles from West Yellowstone, in what investigators suspect was a fatal grizzly bear attack. As a safety precaution, the area has been temporarily closed off while the investigation continues. These events have left scientists pondering if there could be a connection between these unusual wildlife behaviors and the recent seismic activities in the park. After all, animals have inhabited this land for thousands of years, living in harmony with its unique characteristics. It's not a new idea that animals can sense earthquakes before humans. There have been numerous documented instances of animals behaving oddly in the days leading up to seismic events. This phenomenon has piqued the curiosity of scientists for generations. Now, why might this relationship be even stronger in Yellowstone? It's because the animals here have evolved to coexist with the park's geothermal features and seismic activity, which are fundamental to its natural ecosystem. Bison, in particular, have a deep connection to this land. Bison, those iconic symbols of the American West, have a unique relationship with Yellowstone. In the winter, they seek warmth by congregating around the park's geothermal areas. The comforting heat from these natural hotspots helps them survive the harsh winter conditions. But that's not all. The local geology also influences their migratory patterns. Bison are known to move across the park following the shifting patterns of the land beneath them. They have an innate ability to navigate their environment, an environment that is intimately linked to Yellowstone's geological wonders. So the question arises, could the recent changes in animal behavior be a response to changes occurring in the magma chambers deep beneath the ground? Is it possible that these animals are picking up on environmental vibrations or chemical changes that are invisible to our human senses? Imagine for a moment that animals possess an extraordinary sensitivity to the Earth's movements. They may feel vibrations that precede seismic events or detect subtle changes in the air or ground, serving as early warning systems that we humans are not privy to. Intriguingly, scientists are now studying this phenomenon more closely. They're monitoring the behavior of Yellowstone's wildlife with advanced technology, including motion-activated cameras, GPS tracking, and sound recording devices. By collecting data on animal behavior, researchers aim to decipher if there's a correlation between the animal's actions and impending seismic activity. It's a remarkable quest to understand the mysterious connection between Yellowstone's fauna and the geological forces that shape this unique park. For anyone familiar with the incredible geology of this region, the mere suggestion of a potential eruption in Yellowstone National Park sends shivers down the spine. Such an eruption would be of an unprecedented scale. The immediate area around the park would suffer devastating destruction, with ashfall, pyroclastic surges, and lava flows wreaking havoc. Firstly, it's crucial to understand that a Yellowstone eruption would be an unprecedentedly large-scale event. The immediate area around the park would suffer terrible destruction. Ashfall, pyroclastic surges, and lava flows would wreak havoc on this once thriving landscape. The eruption's ferocity would obliterate the stunning landscapes, the diverse fauna, and the famous geysers that draw visitors from around the world. But the human cost would be catastrophic. Towns and communities nearby would be in great danger, and evacuation efforts would be extremely difficult. According to one model, the fallout from a Yellowstone super eruption could affect 3/4 of the United States. Shockingly, up to 90% of people within 1,000 kilometers of the blast could lose their lives. One of the most terrifying features of this eruption would be the massive ash fall. Large parts of North America might be covered in ash from an eruption that spews thousands of cubic kilometers of material into the atmosphere. Additionally, enormous quantities of volcanic gases and aerosols would be released into the atmosphere, significantly impacting the climate on a global scale. A stratospheric aerosol layer, composed of sulfur dioxide and other gases, could deflect sunlight, leading to a significant cooling of the Earth's surface. According to one analysis, a Yellowstone super eruption might result in an annual global temperature decrease of up to 12 degrees Celsius. This volcanic winter could disrupt weather patterns, reducing agricultural yields and leading to food scarcity in various parts of the world. In this geologically active area, the prospect of an earthquake or volcanic eruption is a cause for significant anxiety. Authorities are doing everything in their power to understand, monitor, and reduce the potential risks. The Yellowstone Volcano Observatory and other partners have recently unveiled a new volcano and earthquake monitoring plan. This initiative aims to enhance regional monitoring and hazard assessment. Seismometers, GPS stations, and other cutting-edge tools are strategically positioned around the park as part of this plan. They provide real-time data on the geological activity taking place below the surface. Over the next decade, new technologies will be introduced to monitor geothermal activity and provide information on reducing geological risks in the Yellowstone region. For now, authorities want to reassure the public that the recent seismic activity doesn't indicate an imminent eruption. These earthquakes are likely related to the natural movement of fluids and gases beneath the surface, a common occurrence in such a geologically active area. What are your thoughts on the possibility of Yellowstone erupting? Do you think these earthquakes are a sign of something catastrophic on the horizon? Let us know in the comments below.